Hello, you're watching The Big Story with me, Chao Suen. Subscribe to the Straits Times channel to stay up to date with our live news updates. SPH Media's board has asked its Audit and Risk Committee to further investigate overstated circulation numbers that were discovered in an audit last year. The committee will then consider what further steps should be taken. The media company, which publishes the Straits Times, has come under public criticism after announcing the discovery earlier this month. Circulation figures were found to have been inflated during the period audited between September 2020 and March 2022. Giving more details about the discrepancies for the first time since news of the matter broke, the company says that of particular concern was an overstatement of 49,000 copies on average each day of news titles. They made up about 5% of total daily circulation figures then, but were not distributed. The majority of these were digital copies. Another 5,000 copies on average continued to be recorded each day even after contracts had lapsed. 17,000 copies were recorded as a result of a failure to check that reported numbers were accurate against actual usage tracked in the system. There was also a possible discrepancy of 19,000 copies, which included a barter arrangement with another unnamed publisher. SPH Media says that the committee will focus on investigations on the above issues and will commission legal advisors to assist in the probe and report its findings directly to the board. It says it has taken measures to ensure data accuracy and accountability. The company also says that a total of 7 employees had been taken to task over the matter at the end of December. 4 of them have left the company, the other 3 were served warning letters. In a statement, the Ministry of Communications and Information said it has requested for SPH Media to share these findings when ready and that it expects full cooperation on this. The ministry says it is conducting its own review on whether the inconsistencies would have affected the decision to fund SPH Media Trust and the amount the government committed to the fund. It said it will share its findings in due course. It also said that it has not disbursed any of the funds to the trust to date. Now, if you're planning to buy a new car in the coming months, here's some potentially good news. The supply of certificates of entitlement will rise for the period between February and April. There will be a monthly average of 3,144 COEs available for bidding, spread across the 5 categories each month during this quota period. This is up from the monthly average of 3,040 COEs for the November 2022 to January 2023 period. The increase in COE supply comes after 2 consecutive quarters of declining supply, with the Land Transport Authority announcing today that the quota is now based on the average number of vehicles taken off the road over 4 quarters or 12 months instead of over 6 months. The new method of calculation is aimed at further reducing the quarter-on-quarter volatility of COE supply. Senior transport correspondent Lee Nian Zhou joins us now to weigh in on this development. Thanks for joining us today, Nian Zhou. So, with this increase in the supply of COEs, can we look forward to cheaper premiums, or are there other factors that influence the COE prices?
Hello, I think today is much welcome news after we had 2 quarters where the quota had been reduced. However, I don't think that if you look at the actual increase, it's not tremendous. Means that we will still have to be, I'm expecting that the market is just correcting itself, but we're not going to see a drop on the next bid, for example. Other factors to think about, I would say supply side, you have all these things that are fixed, but demand is where it's very varied. I mean, I was speaking with different dealers just over the past hour or 2, and they're talking about fears over where the economy is going, as well as there's always been a prevailing topic of fleet buyers, how they move. If they decide to continue increasing their fleet, for example, because now there's more COEs, then the premiums are not going to come down. But at the same time, if the expectation is, look, we need to slow down after we have done a lot of fleet expansion in 2022, then the premiums can come down a little bit more. So in other words, I don't really know where it will go, if you're honest.
So the increase in the supply of COEs comes after a second revised method of calculation. LTA says this latest method of calculation will, and I quote, further reduce the quarter-on-quarter volatility of COE supply. So how does it actually help to reduce fluctuations?
Yeah, I think fundamentally the calculation of the number of COEs that will be offered up in the market for bidding is based on the number of cars and trucks and all the other vehicles that are taken off the road before. So the big change now is that it used to be a year ago where we will be looking at how many vehicles were taken off the road 3 months ago. And then in July, they decided that let's make it to 6 months. Or rather, I should say the average of 6 months. What this means is basically it's basic mathematics, right? When you are dividing something over longer, more months, more registrations, you kind of even out these spikes, and as well as trials that will happen, which is natural. So this announcement this afternoon, where they're going to look at where they are using 12 months, have a similar effect. So we go from 3 months, where you have all your movements, spread over 6 months, and now spread over 12 months. So this is the thinking behind the logic of reducing this quarter-on-quarter volatility.
And I think the question on all of our minds, right, if I can get some quick advice from Yin and Joe following today's developments, if I'm looking to buy a car, is this a good time?
Well, I think number one, if you're talking to motor traders, they'll say there are a couple of factors that we need to think about. First and foremost, if you ask me you want to buy a car, it's whether you need one, whether you really need one. Because are we looking at the beginning of some adjustments, or is it a very sustained reduction? Right. So if you do need a car or a truck or whatever it is, well, fine. But I think it's important to also shop carefully, bearing in mind that although we are saying, hey, we have more series now, it is still a lot less than where we were 12 months ago.
Thank you for the advice, Lian Zhou. Senior Transport Correspondent, Lian Zhou. And that is it for the big story for today. I'm Chao Suen, and from all of us here at the Straits Times, we hope you'll have a wonderful celebration with your loved ones this Lunar New Year. Here's wishing you great happiness and prosperity in the coming year of the Rabbit.